Hello friends, so this is the second video which I'm posting. I promised you I'll be posting more frequently, but I just got busy with all the things. So to continue with the theme for this 2025 WSOP, I do want to talk about unconventional things. As far as conventional things are concerned, how to play your position, what the starting hands should be, knowing the range of each position, play the player, etc. Again, there's a lot of information out there in books. Leave a comment below if you want me to talk about any particular topic. I'll happy to discuss that. But I really want to add value to your game based on unconventional things which I've noticed when it comes to tournament play. So in terms of actual play, the style of play which I like is, you must have heard of this as the tag player, which is tight aggressive player. And again, it comes down to the fact that for multi-table tournaments, patience is a virtue. It really is. And if you do want to succeed in multi-table tournaments, then you really need to be a tag player. And you have to understand the style of other players. You have to understand what is the dynamics of your table and how you create your table image. That is again something very important. So let's just to discuss what exactly tag means is being a tight aggressive player. Choose your hands carefully. Do not play too many hands, especially to begin with. Spend a lot of time. I cannot emphasize enough on this point is, when you sit down to play a tournament, first of all, don't try to be late. Try to enter the tournament when the blinds are still very low. What that does is that it gives you an opportunity to study other players, and absolutely pay attention to the hands in which you're not playing, to understand the style of play of other players on your table. That is very critical. So eventually, when you get involved with the person in a hand, you already know, you already have the information in terms of what is the style of that person's play. Is he bluffing a lot? Is he very loose? Which positions he's raising in? All those things you have to observe and make a mental note of that in those hands in which when you're not involved in the hand. So that is about being a tag player. And then I want to talk a little bit about money management and being the focus of the 2025 World Series of Poker. The way I am choosing my tournaments is I like tournaments which have a level of at least 40 minutes. Anything below that, the blinds just keep raising too high, too quickly, and before you know it, you get into that 20 big blind, 30 big blind range, and it's very difficult to control your stack. So I want the levels to be at least 40 minutes. Starting stack is also important, but not that important as much as the time of level is. So anything 30,000, 40,000 starting stack is fine. Even 25 is okay as long as the levels are 40 minutes or higher. I generally don't like playing turbo tournaments. I don't like playing even 30-minute level tournaments, because then it just becomes a crapshoot, and really it's not, the skill part goes out of poker and there's too much luck involved. It becomes more or less like gambling. So you don't want to be gambling at poker. You want that your skill should be, you should be able to play at your skill level and have that advantage. So having said that, the tournaments which I'm choosing for the 2025 WSOP are the ones in which again, I'm only talking about no limit hold'em games. There are so many other flavors of games going on, but in terms of NLH, the ones which I'm choosing is which are at least 8-handed or above. I don't like again 6-handed tournaments, again for the same reason. So 8-handed, 9-handed, 10-handed tournaments with 40-minute blind levels. As far as how much buy-in, that really depends on your bankroll. I'm going for tournaments anything from $500 buy-in to $3,000, and most of the tournaments which are in the $1,500, $2,000, $3,000 buy-in will most likely be at 40-minute levels or above anyways. Um, if you are lucky enough to directly buy into those $10,000 tournaments or being able to satellite into them, that's fine. Those are excellent tournaments. And the reason I want to focus on the ones which are 500, 1500 in that range is because if I have to rebuy into a tournament, then it becomes easier to rebuy as well. So when I talked about rebuy, so let's talk a little bit about that. The way I want to do my rebuys is when I choose to rebuy, I don't want to rebuy in a tournament which is less than 50 big blinds. I'm sure you must have read so many books and so many people say that even a 30 big blind is a very competitive stack. 40 big blinds is an amazingly competitive stack. But I'll give you the reason why I don't like to rebuy if I'm below 50 big blinds. Because by the time you rebuy, come back and sit down on the table and you're trying to reassess the style of play of other players, 1 or 2 levels go by and before you know it, you're down to 25, 30 big blinds. So you really lose that competitive advantage. So my rule of thumb is if somewhere I'm in the 45, 50 big blind range, I will rebuy. Other than that, I would just come back for another day. There's so many tournaments going on, you can always find something good. Now, having said that, also, I do not like to rebuy more than once in per flight. And the reason for that being is, again, unconventional thing. If things are not going your way on a particular day, what I've noticed is things tend to be that way. And maybe it does affect your mental game a little bit. You may not know it, but it does get to you. We as human beings tend to go on tilt, and I'll talk about that. It might be a good segue for that as well. But that's the reason I don't, even if the blinds are low, I don't want to rebuy more than once. Secondly, going on tilt, that is again a very important piece of the puzzle. Is if you get stacked, somebody pulls a 1 outer or 2 outer on you, and this will happen all the time. And poker is poker, and you might be a very skilled player, you might be playing your position, you might have got reads on players, but there'll be situations in which somebody just stacks you. In those situations, absolutely it's imperative that you do not go on tilt. So if you have to rebuy into that situation, when you come back, forget about everything that happened in the past and then focus on what you're doing now. Now, if you're lucky enough where you had a good stack to begin with before you got stacked, then let's say you were at 80 big blinds and you lost half your stack by a cooler. It's okay. Do not think about, oh, I had 80 big blinds, how do I get to that quickly? That is so easy to do. And I used to do that all the time in the past, where we were trying to get back to where we were so quickly. Don't think about that. Always look at your stack. Always know how many big blinds you have in your stack. Keep a track of your table, what the stacks on your table. And I'm sure, you must have read the concepts about stack to pot ratio and things like that. But what I am really trying to focus on, what is your own stack? If you are at 30, 40 big blinds, regardless of, you might be at 100 big blinds, but you're now down to 40. Play your stack like a 40 big blind, as if you just bought into the tournament and you're playing a new tournament. Don't think about what you had, what you have now, and play a good strategic game based on what you have now. So these are very simple things and you probably already know, but I think if you listen from me, it might reinforce those things for you, and hopefully it'll benefit you and help you in your poker journey. I will be posting more content as I play in live tournaments for the 2025 WSOP, so I'll keep you posted. But these are the things I wanted to discuss today. I will be posting the live games that I play in. I'm heading to Vegas on June 5th, and probably I'll play in the first tournament would be the Colossal, the $500 buy-in with 40,000 starting stacks. That might be a good one because you can rebuy into the different flights at least one time a day. And then we'll take it from there. So if you like the channel, please subscribe, like it, and so that every time I post content, you'll be notified of that. And good luck to you. Thank you.